Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow. How did the flooring one come about?
Typical local story. My friend called me, said, hey, I work for my in-laws. They are getting old. They don't like sell me the company, but I think they'd sell it to somebody else. And are you interested? So I said, sure. So I went down and met with Mrs. Mori at Island Flooring. And everybody that knows Mrs. Mori knows that she's the boss. You know, she's like typical old school Japanese dragon lady, very wonderful person, but she controls everything. And at the same time, she also feeds me every time I go down there and see her, right? So I literally had to go have lunch with her in her office for about 6 months, maybe once every few weeks, just to talk story, and nothing about selling the company, nothing about deal terms, nothing about anything regarding buying the company, but just to talk story, build a relationship, which again, that's the typical Hawaiian style private equity, because nobody from a normal private equity company would go and have Saimin with Mrs. Mori, for 6 months before even getting to talking about, doing a deal.
Was that a stipulation kind of, or it was just like, I want to get to know you a bit better, and then you just say, okay, I want to have a relationship here then? Because that's
typical local style.
Yeah.
So you just got to have the patience and read and understand. That's how Mrs. Mori wanted to do business, right? So you really just almost have to fight the urge to just be like, hey, how much do you want for your company already? Not for, Saimin, and you just got to sit and listen and talk story. But basically, they're aging, and this is a very typical story. This has been on multiple deals that I've done. Aging owners, pretty solid business. They've been in business for 50 years prior to us coming in and buying it. Kids are either unwilling or unable to take on the business. And so they have a bunch of equity in this business that are at least brand equity, depending on the type of company, but a bunch of equity in this business that they'd like to get out, for retirement. Subcontracting turns out is a terrible business to be in. Cash flow wise, it's the worst, because not only are you the last person paid, you got a 10% off the top goes to retention that you don't even see for a year, right? In a business that's a 20% margin business. So you're half your margins, you don't even collect for a year, right? So cash flow becomes an issue as you get busier. And so as aging owners, as you get busier, you actually got to come out of pocket, go to the bank and pull out money out of your savings as right at the point in time where you're trying to, retire and relax and go into another phase of your life. So that was another issue that they faced. And so we came in and we negotiated a win-win for everybody that allowed them to stop coming out of pocket. We threw in some working capital in the business, and we purchased the business in 2014, and we left their kids with a small piece of equity because that was important to them to have that.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.